Hello! I'd like to introduce Darryl Fisch of the Business Transition Alliance. Hi, Darryl.
Hi, Carla. How are you?
Good, thanks. So could you give us a bit of background about yourself?
Sure. When I exited university, I started working for a family business that had existed for about 30 years. And I ran that for about 23 years after my father retired. And we were importers and distributors for products that were sourced both from Asia, Europe, as well as the United States. And we serviced both the Canadian large and small retailers. So my background really is in sales, marketing, product development, as well as logistics. When I exited the import business, I started doing some consulting for medium and large sized companies. And then 5 years ago, I joined the Business Transition Alliance with my two partners, Randy Fuelling and John Hodson. And we help businesses both grow, exit, and step back from their positions.
So how did you handle your father's retirement? Was there succession planning in place?
Unfortunately, there wasn't. When my dad announced his retirement, it was a bit of a shock. And unfortunately, we hadn't done any succession planning, which would have mitigated a lot of the problems that we encountered when he finally did step back about a month after he announced his retirement. So what I've learned in the process of my working career and helping businesses transition, that a succession plan is paramount, both to capitalize on the full value that they built in their business, as well as an exit strategy for the owner, as well as to put his employees at ease on the future growth and the future path of the company.
Was it lonely after your father retired? And could you lean on any senior leaders at your organization?
You know, that's a really good question. And fortunately, we were able to attract and retain some really trusted and dedicated people. However, everyone had a vested interest in the solutions that I'd come to them with problems. And I understood, of course, that the operations manager, for example, would always address issues based on how it would affect operations, his people, his job. And the same would hold true if we discussed a problem with a sales manager or the controller. Even my wife would look at issues and often suggest things that were based more on emotions than business. And it made it very difficult, and I felt very isolated, alone in my office at times, trying to come up with what was the best path forward. And I learned then that, again, if succession had been put more in place, I think some middle management that was divested or an external board would have really helped us grow and continue on our path of success.
What was your growth strategy?
You know, I realized early on after my dad's retirement that I needed to bring in more help, and I had to take some of the burden of growing the business off my own shoulders. So it was almost a top-down, bottom-up look at how the business was running and bringing in the people that could take and manage a lot of the processes on their own. And then we would hold weekly meetings all together and discuss each of our issues and problems and support each other in the path forward. So one of the first people I hired was a sales and marketing person. He brought in additional salespeople that he managed, and then we brought in more logistics people to handle some of that workload that had been handled by one or two people. We had 3 or 4 doing it. And as these people came aboard, they brought more and more customers with them because we were able to handle more of the expectations of our customers. But again, it's a slower process, and it's an issue in how to attract and retain the employees. And that was one of the biggest problems we faced, was really attracting and retaining the right people. And I think in today's environment, that's one of the biggest issues around, and it really takes a lot of work and managing to keep and maintain the right people to help your business grow.
From your experience, what piece of advice would you give to fellow business owners who might be feeling lonely at the top?
I think entrepreneurs have to realize that the issues that they're facing aren't unique to their business. Every business is truly unique, and every entrepreneur knows their business better than anyone else can come in. However, issues and problems aren't unique, and entrepreneurs should not hesitate to reach out and ask for advice from trusted people who can bring to them experiences that they may not have yet experienced, because when you operate your business, it's hard to see the forest from the trees.
So to wrap up, I just have one final question for you. If you could change anything or do anything over again, what would you change?
You know, I've thought about this often, and I really think it's not a difficult answer. I would ask for more help. I was very hesitant to reach out for help, and it was difficult, as I said earlier, to get it internally because everybody has their own bias in the business. and I should have reached out for more help, and I think that would have made my time less lonely.
Thanks for your time today. I'm glad we were able to help business owners feel less lonely at the top, and hopefully we've inspired them to feel that it's okay to ask for help.
Thanks very much, Carla. It's been fun.